today I have a real treat for you. You probably know who he is. If you don't, you're about to, and I'll bet you'll follow him from this point forward. Garrett J. White in the house.
What is it? What is what it is?
What it is.
What?
That's like what is that's
this?
like the cool way of saying what's going on.
My kids are constantly in the, some kind of way. That's their thing now. Some kind of way.
I walk out sometimes doing a keynote somewhere and the whole crowd saying what it is.
It's your thing.
Yeah, I said it in the first couple episodes, and now I listen to it. So now every time I open up, I got to say what it is, Bradley. It's the same opening, but it's not the same guest.
Do you say it that way when you're walking down the hallway in the bedroom, heading to your wife, and you know it's time? You say come down naked, just letting it swing. What it is. Does that work with her?
It would.
It would? Have you tried this?
No. Because she already knows what it is. She knows what it's been for quite some time. And she knows what it will be. Yeah. I ain't got to say shit to her. All I got to do is wiggle my zipper. And she's in the mood.
Oh, wow. Wow. It must be a magical zipper.
Hey, folks. Garrett J. White, wake up warrior, weekend warrior, everything. Like one of the coolest brands I've seen. You did a good job with that brand.
Thank you.
And I would say that you're probably one of the originals. I know you aren't the original because you go back to freaking, old people, but I'm talking about in the digital age where you freaking frameworked everything out and you built a real program. And ultimately you were just for dudes, or are you still?
We have women now who participate in the platform. We tested it a couple of different times inside the education. It works. Like the content of the curriculum, Wake Up Warrior, the Warriors Way works for women. We know because of the wives and the girlfriends, we started giving access to these men as they would wake up. And like their wives started wanting access. So we tested that way. We've never really gone that direction as a primary motive. But because men have always been, it was it. I had a penis. So I was like, I can help guys because they got penises and I got a penis. So I'm not sure what it is to have a vagina.
Yeah, but dude, you had to think of it first. So basically you recognize that there's a lot of pussy dudes in the world with no confidence. Yeah. And
I was one of them. Yeah. I mean, I had it and then I didn't, and then I did, and then I didn't. And it was a chaotic situation to be in. As a guy, I was just crushed after, and we're kind of going through right now. You see what's happening. I'm watching all these guys closing up mortgage brokerage shops. I got them closing it up. Inflation's up. Interest rates are up. Refi boom's over. Yeah, now they're looking to sell insurance, bro. Now they're ready. Now they're ready to sell insurance.
Dude, I'm telling you, you got to sell something if you want to be rich. Yeah. You're rich. Yeah. You sold something.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Anyone who's afraid of sales is stupid. Number one, they're already in sales regardless. Yeah. And number two, if you really want to get rich.
Did you know that?
You got to freaking, if you want to get rich, man, you got to sell something.
When did you start seeing yourself as an actual, when did you take on the title for you of like you saw yourself, dude, I'm a fucking closer, I'm a salesman, I'm a seducer. Like, when did that become conscious that you were like, oh shit, this is actually who I am? It is what it is. Like, when did it become that? When did you actually remember the first time, like, actually feeling that about yourself?
To be cliche, I'd say 6 years old, Garrett. I was 6 years old. My school gave me a box of candy bars, and they expected me to go sell them to my friends and my family and then bring back the spares. Yeah. Problem is, I was from a blue-collar family, so I brought them home. No one had any money. My brothers ate half the motherfuckers without paying for them. And so I basically had to go sell them door to door to strangers. So at 6 years old, I started rapping on doors. And after, a block, I said, man, I got to come up with a spiel. So I'd knock on the door and they'd open it and I'd have the candy bars behind my back and I'd say, do you know the phone number to a good roof repairman? They'd say, what? And I'd say, because when you taste one of these, you're going to go through the roof. And they started fucking buying.
Back in the day, shit like that worked. Nowadays, they'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, they started buying left and right. I outsold everybody. They gave me all the candy bars the other kids couldn't sell. Wow. So that's when I knew, I was cool. I had something. But I didn't really focus on it. And so I went and did a bunch of hard labor bullshit. Then I didn't like a hard labor job, got a job selling cars, kicked ass the first month, made more than anybody in my family, got a free Trans Am to drive, and knew right there, like, number one, sales is for me and I'm badass at it.
I was scared of it a bit. Like, I'd had the leadership side from all my years in football, in high school and college, like leading is in position that, but the idea of selling, I remember I was serving tables and a guy on like a whole bunch of car dealerships, and he sat down at our tables and I was doing my shenanigans as a server, just sidelining on the weekends, making some cash that way. And he offered me and one of my buddies a job to come sell cars on his lot. And my friend said yes, and I said no. And my friend's like, well, dude, why aren't you going to do it? I made up some bullshit excuses, but I was actually really nervous about the proposition of being 100% commission and selling, which I had really kind of been as like a kid growing up, but I'd never actually committed to that profession. He went on, he was like, okay, at selling, but it wasn't until mortgages that right around 2001, that was like the step into realizing, oh shit, you can make some money selling. And then I kind of got over the idea that being a salesman was a problem because every guy I knew that could sell had big rings, fast cars, and made shitloads of money.
Big rings?
Yeah, they had. I remember this dude, I went to his Primerica meeting. Back in the day, my dad, of course, tried one of 75 things that never worked out. That was one of them. The thing that is working out for him, though, is he's a Santa Claus.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, legit, big-ass white beard. He is a professional Santa Claus at 71. My dad also microdoses daily. Yeah, he's in the plant game now.
I'm wondering if the microdose is beneficial. Someone gave me a mushroom chocolate bar.
Yeah. Did you try it?
No, not yet. I'm on a diet. I don't want the chocolate fucking out my program.
Give me a mushroom without the chocolate. Just give me a little psilocybin without it.
Dude, as a kid, I tripped on shrooms quite a bit.
Did you? Yeah, I was terrified of that.
No, I wasn't. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was terrified.
So where were you, dude, before Wake Up Warrior? Did you have money? Did you go to college? Were you like, the same you, just nobody knew you? Or were you different?
No,
were you fat?
No.
Were you pudgy? Did you have bitch tits?
Never did the bitch tits game. Yeah.
What do you say to the dudes out there right now listening to this?
Bitch tits?
Yeah, they got, look in the mirror and they got bitch tits. And just for the record, 2 months ago and still kind of almost, I would say I still have them. I just got tits. but pretty soon they're moving real quick into pecs.
Into pecs.
And into a chest. But I see dudes out there and I notice, they got bitch tits and I'm thinking to myself, dude, you got to totally ignore yourself and really not pay any attention to your health whatsoever to get those.
Well, I think the challenge for men is the fact that we've been taught, from the time we're young, coming on the conversation of closing and selling, growing up, there were dudes that were jacked, right? And the idea of being shredded and jacked, if you eliminate the idea of trying to be king alpha and be the badass, be higher alpha of all the guys, and you just looked at what guy code was, guys were really trying to get one thing, which is get laid. Everything
get later, get money.
Which was both. And even getting paid was a game of power that really was just about coming back to another conversation, which is having hotter chicks. So it was there was this language. So the fitness side for a lot of guys was a drive, but money was a bigger drive than fitness. We found this even at Wake Up Warrior. Dudes don't come to Wake Up Warrior because they're trying to get fit. Guys get fit because they're living the Warrior's way, but it's not why they come. Even guys get a permission slip to not be as fit. A woman could have 3 children and everybody expects her to be fit and ripped and get jacked again or be be lean and do her thing. Guys get a hall pass as long as you get paid. Now, if we're talking about bitch tits and broken bank accounts, now we're talking Call of Duty, hand jobs, Pornhub on a Saturday night into the toilet. So yeah, I get that game too. That's a rough place to be.
Why do you think people allow themselves to get there when it's as simple as it really is? Because now that I'm doing it, dude, it ain't fucking rocket science. No. I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, dude, it's I'm doing the work.
I think my experience is now with 55,000 men that have come through Warrior in the last 10 years, not only is there a narrative for money, right? So the idea is if I get paid, then everything else will work out. That. And so we get guys kind of Warrior who are under that frame. I've made money, but the rest of my life's not working out.
Yeah, relationships,
and it's just falling
confidence,
apart. And body, right? Because you get to a place. Particularly now, I'm 46. I'm taking the testosterone shots now because my testosterone was low. Is your testosterone low or is it good?
Fucking rock star.
Rock star? What? What are you 1900?
900.
Overdoing it? 900?
No, I like to hover at about 950.
How you know this? You test it?
Yeah.
By yourself or what?
No, I got fucking doctors.
But they're going and hey, dude, you're good. Your testosterone.
I get my blood work all the time.
Okay.
Estrogen, everything.
Yeah. I didn't know. I went in and got that first time. I've been around 300 for a couple of years now. Low. low. Just like
300 is actually pretty decent.
Well, it's decent compared to some guys, but for a guy like me, and they're like, hey, you're at 300. Can you imagine what you do at 900? I told my wife, because she was getting worried over the last couple of years. She's like, it feels like you're kind of slowing down. She's like, I used to be the penis whisperer. I could just whisper in your direction, you get a hard on, and it's not that way anymore. I was like, yeah, kind of isn't that way anymore. I'm not sure what's going on. She's like, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like maybe I don't got any moves or like something happens. And then we find out about the testosterone. So then I start doing the testosterone shots.
But it also, how long you been married?
19 years coming up in August.
You wouldn't think that's a factor?
I don't know. I think it's part of it.
I know, but if you have which favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
So if you had vanilla ice cream for 19 years every single day, wouldn't it eventually be like, it's just vanilla ice cream?
I could have vanilla ice cream. Now, if we compared my wife's vagina to vanilla ice cream and we said I was licking that vagina every day for 19 years, I think I'd be all right, but I wasn't. I think that was a problem for like a lot of years. That vanilla ice cream was like in a box locked behind a prison with like a code behind it. I was like, no, fuck you, no ice cream. I'm like, what?
So the testosterone fixes that?
Yeah, well, then I had like what this managed a year. I got a vasectomy in January, 5 kids. My wife's like, we're done. I'm like, me too, we're done. So I get the vasectomy, but then like I have this mental breakdown about my vasectomy. I'm thinking I'm like, oh shit, I got ED issues. I can't get his heart. I'm like a little soft now. I'm like, and I call the doctor, he's Dr. Turk in Beverly Hills. I'm like, bro, like, I think you broke my penis. He's like, I didn't break your penis, bro. You're fine. I was like, no, seriously, I don't think it's working. He's like, it's all in your head. I was like, it's not all in my head. I'm looking down here and this thing's not working the same, man. I used to like be able to rapid fire.
And you said earlier it shrank a little.
Yeah, well, didn't say it shrank, you fucker. It was already small. If it shrunk already, be in big trouble. It's like...
I thought you said it shrunk a little bit.
No shrinkage. I got leaner. Well, it actually got longer because I shaved my ball hair.
Longer and skinnier?
Yeah, it just looks bigger. My wife even said, she's like, when you shave it, it looks bigger.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I had these issues with it though, and like the testosterone and like between the vasectomy and the testosterone was kind of a big cycle. But we're back, man. I'm good now. But I think a lot when I come back to even the point of why I'm saying any of this is there's a narrative for dudes as they get older in particular. It gets hard, right? Because you get off the path and you're off your path with your body. You're not talking about like just a subtle recovery.
Well, when you say hard, you mean mentally though, because it's not hard.
No,
Call
it's very simple.
Get your blood work.
Very simple.
Get testosterone. That's not hard.
No, but mentally hard. Yeah, mentally hard to get people to think. Well, you and I are talking about school, right? Like looking at our kids, we're like, well, why should our kids go to school? Like, who told us kids should go to school? Like, why do I believe this? Right? Who says that God is this way? Who said that my children should go to school? So I bring my kids home, and then I find myself still in the trap of thinking school should be a certain way, even though I brought my kids home. I was telling you, I hired teachers to come to the house, and I found my mind saying, well, this is how it has to be. So guys get stuck in this pattern, particularly physically, and they get stuck in this pattern. They don't tend to get too motivated to do anything until they get divorced. Then I watch guys get real fit.
Yeah, as soon as they get divorced.
Well, they're excited. They're 50, and now they're back dating girls their daughter's age.
Yeah, if they have some money.
Yeah, if they have some money.
Don't nobody date 50-year-old brokies.
Mm-mm.
There was a video the other day that the guy said, how old's the oldest you will date? And it was this young chick, and she goes, 32. And he goes, what if they have money? She goes, 67.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
She doubled it up.
Little dough, dude, goes a long way, don't you think?
100%.
Now, how much did your house cost you?
I bought it at $20 million.
And what's it worth now?
22, 23.
So you made $3 million living in a fucking mansion. Who wouldn't want to make money living in a mansion? Now, most people think that cost you money.
Yeah. No, it's totally opposite.
Yeah, people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're going to be, and you used to have the killer cars. I think you said, I saw a video where you said, I'm done with those.
Yeah. Well, we gave my wife the cool cars. So I had my Lamborghini Aventador, and then I had this super tricked out lifted G-Wagon I really loved. And then I woke up one morning, and like legitimately, I believe that God was trying to get a hold of me to help me rip away a bunch of my arrogance and my significance. Because I did. I mean, I pulled an Aventador. It's impossible not to be noticed, at least even in Orange County where you can see lots of them. I mean, if you're in the middle of Texas and you're driving it, people are like, oh my God, right? But in Orange County, you see them a lot. But even there, it was like this sense of identity that I still was kind of holding on to. So I swapped them out over one. I knew my wife was pregnant with our fifth. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get a Navigator which had to do with me kind of restoring, because I lost my first businesses in 2007 and 8, not because of market, because I was a shitty entrepreneur. I was just a hustler. I just knew how to sell. I didn't know how to run a company. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to plan, budget, accounting.
What kind was it?
Mortgages. Yeah, we were brokers.
You just missed the timing.
Yeah, well, not just the timing. I didn't listen to any mentor around me. Not one of them. From 2006 to 2007 and into 7 and 8.
Were they there trying to give you the info?
Yeah. One of my mentors, a guy was one of the biggest developers in Utah at the time. His name was Mark Eldridge. He passed away, but at the time he was about a year away from dying. 2006, about a year and a half, 2 years. And he got in this lung issue. And we were sitting on a boat out in Bear Lake, Utah, where my in-laws had a cabin. And it was just him and I. We dropped everybody off the docks. It was 2006 in the summer. And he's onto these oxygen tanks. He's got a tank sitting in the boat next to him, and the oxygen to his nose, because he literally just couldn't breathe. And eventually his lungs just stopped working. But he was only like 56, 55. And he looked at me, and he dropped his sons off and at the dock, and our other kids off the dock. And he looked at me and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to give you some advice." He's like, "You're not asking for it, but I'm going to tell you. I've been doing this game for a long time. So I'm playing in real estate for over 30 years. It's going to fall on its face. It's not if. Shrink your company down to key essential team members. Liquidate all your real estate. Go to cash. Sit and wait. And then buy it all back. It's going to happen." Of course, at the time, I listened zero. I didn't even have the capacity to listen, because I'd never experienced it. It's like all these brokers going through right now. All these guys in mortgages who got into mortgages during this recent 4 or 5 year boom. And they're like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do? Rates are at 5.5%, 6%.
This is up in Utah?
This was in Utah when I was there at the time. Yeah.
Are you Mormon?
I was raised Mormon, yeah.
Not everybody in Utah is Mormon, but a good majority, yeah?
And nowadays, it's not so much. Now it's I think it's 40% of the people in Utah are Mormon.
It's a melting pot.
Yeah, it's big.
Are you Mormon? My brother's Mormon. Says my family used to be Mormon.
Really?
Till my grandmother came and ruined us.
Ruined
made
you
us Catholic.
All? Huh? Made you Catholico?
Yeah, but I'm not. We didn't grow up real churchy.
Yeah.
So I don't say I'm anything. I say, if anything, I'm a Christian.
A Christian. Yeah. I'm a Christian. You tattoo that on your arm. Yeah. No, I was raised in that, but in 2009 we stopped practicing Mormonism. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with anybody practicing it, but God was calling me to a different place. There was just a conversation I needed to enter into. It was different. I was really stuck in a box. I think I'd become a pretty self-righteous prick.
So what were you doing when you started Wake Up? Because I remember you a long time ago. You were in a video a lot with chains and metal. Yeah,
that's one of our studios. Yeah,
and you know what you were saying was you were the first one being direct. Let's say, in other words, you were the only one out there saying, "Dude, get your fucking bitch tits off the floor."
Yeah.
But you had rap. Was that when it all started?
It all started. So 2000. So the banking game ended in 2008. We went from. I look at the train and transition of it. Summer 2007, I get to speak at one of the lead trainers at Mortgage Planner Summit in Vegas, right here in Vegas. Tony Robbins was speaking after me, which now happens all the time. Not so much because he's kind of not doing speaking day. I used to do it at ClickFunnels the last 3 or 4 years. I'd be the warm-up guy. They had to keep cluing Tony in. Hey, because Tony apologized for language. He's like, I apologize. I realize this is Russell's house. And he finally, after the 3rd year in a row, they came to him and said, "Tony, we realize you don't watch anything about the guy that's before you, but Garrett fucking warms everybody up. You could say whatever the hell you want to say." I do have a trampoline like Tony now. I thought the trampoline was stupid, but I got one. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Change your state?
Yeah, it works. It actually does. I thought it was stupid. I was like, why does Tony jump on a trampoline? So then I got a little tiny trampoline and it works. It's really good. I jump on it in the middle of the day.
Do you bring it with you when you do guest speaking?
Well, just collapse it down, go gadget in my backpack.
Yeah.
No. So dude, I come back in 2000, I'm speaking in 2007 at the Mortgage Planner Summit. Then by the summer of 2008, my wife is selling shit out of our garage, literally selling my Ironman triathlon bike. I did World Championships in 2007. Sells the bike to try to put groceries in the fridge. We're selling our shit. I have nothing. I was, again, stupid. I tried to take all my personal cash, all my personal investments, and I liquidated everything trying to save a fucking failing business. Only to have 100+ people that I have to sit down, line up, and let go. And all of these individuals looking at me like, what the fuck? And then the worst part was to be a guy who'd given so much to so many people at the time, hired so many people, just poured into. My manager's making tons of money. My sales guy's making tons of money. And then when all the dust settled from this, nobody was there to fucking bail me out. Nobody was to help. Nobody gave a fuck, dude. I was by myself. That's why I got the Navigator, because the last vehicle I lost I had to give back was a Navigator. So I bought a Navigator just this last year because I was like, my wife was like, what the fuck is it do with this Navigator? I was like, it's like closure.
But old Elder Eldridge tried to help you.
He did. I wouldn't listen though.
And did he see the crash coming or something?
No, he did, but he passed away before it actually all like imploded.
So he was right.
Yeah, he was 100% right.
Had you done what he said, would you still be in biz?
Oh, dude, I'd probably still be in banking, but
the challenge was
there wouldn't be no warrior.
Yeah, there'd be no warrior. All those dudes wouldn't be helped.
Nope. So God knew what he was doing at the time with me. So then in 2008, we kind of hit this rock bottom place. 2000, I leave the religion I was raised in, Mormonism. My wife didn't carry the way because she was more Buddhist anyways and where her thought process was. And I started searching for answers. And I realized, this is when I come to realize my whole life was a stack of fucking lies. I didn't know if I really believed what Mormonism taught, but I was kind of part of it. So it's what we kind of did. I was a guy on the fringe always. I was like, I don't fucking know about this. And there was just a lot of questions I had, but I realized I had spent so much of my life like unable to ask really hard questions of myself, not of anybody else, of myself. Hey, what if this is not true? Hey, what if? And I didn't have the courage to deal with the consequences. So the stripping of me down to nothing, I didn't have anything to lose. And I'm like looking up at God and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, what am I supposed to do now? And that was when I got to this baseline of, I don't know who I am. I'm tired of taking these church answers. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm a pretty shitty husband. I'm a pretty shitty father. I don't know how to, I'm obviously not that good of a businessman. I'm more of a salesman, not an entrepreneur. Like, what the fuck am I going to do now? So I start pursuing energy healing and meditation, and I start having these Reiki coaches, and I'm doing all this crazy shit, sweat lodges. I'm doing all this shit. Just like, I'm anything that's the opposite of what I've been, and I'm going to do it. I started studying Hinduism and Buddhism and started hiring monks to train me on this. And everybody thought I'd lost my fucking mind. My wife and I packed up and moved at the time from Utah to Arizona to get away from everyone. And we just needed a fresh start. And we did. So we started Gilbert, Arizona, moved from Salt Lake City to Gilbert. And we were in this little neighborhood where people make $45,000, $50,000 a year. We just hid. Just hid for a few years. Just like in this place trying to find myself. Just fucking trying to find myself. Nobody gave a fuck. Guy across the street was like NASCAR Jack. You know, I don't got a problem with NASCAR, but you know, NASCAR Jack, he comes home, makes $52,000 a year, drinking his Bud Light inside of his garage. And he's just got naked posters of chicks and NASCAR pictures and just fucking stoked. Didn't give a shit about life. Just couldn't wait to get home from his job. It was the weirdest thing to be because I had never been that. So we hid out. But I did a lot of stupid shit at the time. Cheated on my wife. And I don't say that like flippantly. Like I didn't know how to be honest with anyone, including my wife. So it was easier for me to be honest with other women and only tell them part of the story, not tell them the whole story. I didn't want to tell the asshole Garrett story. So why would they, of course, you know, what kind of woman listens to a guy like me in that state? That's what's so funny about guys that cheat. It's like, you're like, dude, any woman that would take you in that place, that says a shitload about you and her. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, it just does. And I look at the guy I was at the time, I'm like, what were you searching for? And I was searching for what I have now with my wife, but I didn't know how to do it. I was too big of a liar. And that was the foundation of warrior. I wasn't trying to build a warrior. I just came to terms with the fact that I was a walking liar. And that became my mission back before anyone was talking authentic and back before all the confusing fucking pronouns everybody's using for their names. I'm like, back before any of that shit, when authenticity was not a conversation to be had publicly. People were not honest. Now social media forces honesty. But back then that was not the case. So I'm the guy at events. I'm the guy at Speaker Author Networking Group with Larry Benet in LA in 2009.
Oh, Larry Benet.
Oh, Larry Benet. At his event, at Sang event, Speaker Author Networking Group.
I went to Sang. You know what I told Larry Benet?
Huh?
I said, he wanted $7,000 for me to be able to go there and do something. And I said, Larry, I'll tell you what, I'll come and I'll just split with you everyone that does Lightspeed from Sang.
Yeah.
He said, no, he'd rather have the 7 Gs.
Oh, dude, that was a bad mistake.
Yeah, I closed deals there.
I'm sure you did.
I didn't close you though.
Like, bro, you wouldn't have noticed me. I was a broken dude at the time. I was 2009.
So you hadn't even woke up yet?
Nah, man. I was running wingman with a guy named Chris Crone.
Oh, Chris Crone. Yeah, he's a smart dude.
He's a very smart guy. So Chris, I worked with Garrett Gunderson in 2008 as his partner. 2009, I was partners with Chris Crone. 2010, I was with a guy named Brett Harward. 2011, I was with Greg Anderson. That's when I first started finding traffic. Throughout all of that time, though, I was like gaining skills of what it took to be an entrepreneur. Like Chris, for example, I was blown away. That's how I ended up at Sang. I didn't have money to go to Sang. I was just working for him. He called me his partner. I worked for him. And we went to Sang together. He took me with him. And that was one of the first places. There was a guy named, wrote a book called, Never Eat Alone. Never Eat Alone. What's his name? I don't remember his name. Anyways, he wrote another book on authenticity, and it was the first time I'd seen anybody do it. Like, talk about it. So I stood up at Sang on the second day, and they're like, who wants to share? And I got up there and I took my jacket off. And I said, here's what I noticed yesterday. Everybody was walking around connected and having real conversations. And today we're back to everybody cockstroking and being badass and trying to fucking lie all the time. I'm sitting right next to John Assaraf. And we're doing introductions at the table. And he's like, who are you? And I was like, well, I'm a cheater. Cheat on my wife. That wasn't the best move.
Down on my taxes a couple months.
Down on my tax a couple of years. Don't have really much going on for myself right now. Lost my businesses because I'm a shitty entrepreneur. Ended up here because my friend Chris Crone invited me to come play. And Sean's just sitting there going, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And that became the beginning. I saw what happened that day, though. I didn't have anything to offer but the truth. And I noticed something, even with guys who were deeply creative and dominating, there was something I saw in 2009 with truth. And it's like the clip with Eminem and 8 Mile, where at the very end in the battle, at the very end of 8 Mile, the movie, and he gets up and grabs a mic and then spends 3 minutes saying all the negative shit this guy's going to probably say about him. And then he hands the mic back to him and he's like, there, why don't you tell these fucking people something they don't already know? And I was like, oh shit. I don't have any money. I don't have any direction. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but there's something to this truth thing. So I just started becoming the most honest guy. And I watched, it didn't matter who it was, because men fucking lie and hide. And if you have nothing to hide and you are scandalous, meaning I would talk about my affair and dude, I could look in a room of 10 dudes lined up. I knew exactly who the fucking cheaters were. You could see it in their faces. They wouldn't have to say shit. There was a shift in their countenance. My truth activated their truth, and I could see it like I was looking through the fucking Matrix.
I didn't know what you're talking about. Micro expressions.
Yes. I'm like, oh, okay. So then it became a thing. I just started dumping my shit. Now, it wasn't super productive because it was really just about me dumping all my truth. And I learned that there needed to be some relevance to what I was saying too. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a bunch of fucking shit. Let me dump it on you. No, it was the best.
Was it therapeutic?
Very therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of my social media posts, people are like, why do you post that? I was like, I'm just.
Yeah, but then you honed it into a brand and curriculum and freaking framework and started talking about it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So how long until it started to blow up?
2012, I'd realized in 2011 that like marketing was like the game. Like for whatever reason, I knew how to sell, but I just saw it. It was sitting at like Sang and other events like this. I watched these dudes roll in like fucking Vans, tennis shoes, and jeans and hoodies. And every dude in a suit was like jerking these guys off. Like just like, can I get some time with you? And I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? I didn't understand why I had so much power. I'd watch them just roll. Ryan Lee, guys like this are rolling. I'm like, why is everybody like trying to get these guys' attention? And I realized they all had one common thing. They could get leads. They knew how to generate traffic and attention. And I was like, okay, I already know how to sell. If I can figure out how to market. So then I became obsessed with traffic, obsessed with advertising, obsessed with marketing. And that in conjunction with selling and an obsession with truth. Put those three together. I'm sitting there one day and I just feel this prompt in Arizona. Turn your camera on. And I want you to talk about this domain you bought in 2009, wakeupwarrior.com. It's the fall of 2012. I was like, Okay, so I do. And I got real fired up, and then I fucking hit the camera and it broke. I didn't know what I was doing. I had my own little Sony cam in this little shitty studio I built for myself in Gilbert. I put black like stuff on the wall, and I thought I didn't understand exposure or aperture or anything. So I'm like, just 2,700 lights are shining on me. Still can't get lighting to make sense. And the first guy, one of the first guys to respond to that video, Sean Whalen.
Oh, Sean Whalen.
Oh, Sean Whalen. Long before that was Lions, Not Sheep. So we had Sean, Greg Anderson, which is like his CTO, guy named James P. Friel, guy named Mike Isom, and we had 5 guys that responded to this. Charged them $10,000. And I said, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this thing, because guys started seeing my life work again. And they knew how shitty things had been. So I was like, all right, let me teach you what I'm doing. I found this game. I kind of play this game with myself every day that helps me figure out how to win in every area of my life. Just started making it up. I was like playing in my journal. My marriage started getting better. My kids' life started getting better. I started getting better. My just living started feeling more positive. Started being able to pay all my past debts back. Started making money again. Like things started happening. Like, well, what's going on? I was like, listen, I'll share with you. So these guys came in, and in the first 90 days, all we did in the first quarter of 2013 was get on a webinar every week on GoToWebinar and tell the truth.
What was the truths you were hearing?
Oh, everything. James P. Friel started us off. I knew it was going to get serious. And he didn't care to say this because it's like open. He was one of the CTO for ClickFunnels for a while. Now James runs a big consulting firm by himself. But James was sitting at Jim Friel, but James Friel, Jim's sitting there in the first, we're all going to go to webinar. So we all got our cameras up. We thought it was all high tech in 2013. It was actually December of 2012.
Probably was back then.
Fucking way high tech. And Jim's like, we're like, okay, well, let's introduce ourselves. And Jim says, listen, I'll go first. And we're like, okay, well, go ahead. And he's like, all right, well, I could bullshit you guys, or I could just dump off. I'm just going to jump off the deep end with you. So here's the deal. I got a wife in Florida, and I got a girlfriend in a condo in New York. I don't know if I want either one of them. And I'm miserable. I'm depressed. I'm upset. I'm angry at God. I'm miserable in how I even experience myself. And he just goes down this list. And we're all sitting there going, oh shit, this is happening. And then it went the next person, Michael J. Eisen.
But what did you say to that though?
We just listened. There was no answer. That's all it was. In the beginning, Warriors started as a place for guys to be fucking radically and ruthlessly honest. And just being able to be honest with other guys who respected you and didn't judge you.
So
it created a
word.
bond. Nah. Then the next guy went, well, here's what's going on for me. And the next guy did. And then there was this bond that was formed, like we had just gone through emotional war zone together. And there was a trust that started getting built with us as 5. Sean actually said yes, but then Sean didn't get into the program till later. It was just a little fiasco. It was later, in 2013. But it was the same thing with Sean. Sean came in, his first viral post came off of being a warrior, off of a conversation with his ex-wife, Summer. He's like, what the fuck do I do? I was like, bro, I'm going to tell you to do something that's radically crazy. He's like, what? I said, I want you to write a gratitude letter to her and tell her thank you for your children. I want you to apologize for who you were as a man with her. We'd figured some things out. We'd been running Warrior for about 6 months. So we kind of are starting to figure some things out. So Sean does it. Post goes fucking ballistic. And of course, Sean is amazing. Sean does what the fuck Sean does. And he rides that bitch out for the last 9 years and built this amazing brand. But all of us were just under this one thing. That's why Lions Not Sheep works, because the foundation of it is to tell the truth. Stop fucking lying. At the core of every movement that's working right now is a source-based game of truth. That's why we listen to people that we genuinely spiritually feel that this, Brad's not fucking lying to me. Garrett's not lying to me. They're not hiding anything. And in a world of people who are plastic and putting up filtered pictures and videos and constantly pretending to be something they're not, and being hollow and alone, divorce rates skyrocketing, man tits skyrocketing, obesity skyrocketing, suicide rates with kids skyrocketing, financial bankruptcy skyrocketing. Dude, there's nothing about our society that the results, if we were just tracking optics, we're fucking trending off a cliff. And men are at the front of it. And now you got the rising female movement, which is not a problem. I got 4 daughters. I got a powerful woman. My wife makes millions a year and take home herself. She outproduces most fucking guys I know by herself and pushes humans out of vagina. I'm like, the fuck, bro? Guys are lost and are scared. And then we created this bravado and then this confusion of what's happened. Then you insert the transgender conversation and dudes who can't cut it, male sports all of a sudden competing against women. Dude, guys are fucked right now. If you try to be powerful, you're looked at as toxic. You're toxic. Fuck you and your toxicity, you fucking pussy. It's just like there's this rising rage, but guys don't know what to do with it. Warrior worked because it entered a marketplace that to guys that had never had a space to talk. Wasn't therapy. It was like being with the best band of brothers you'd ever had in your life. That's the foundation of what Warrior was. And that's why movements that have spun off it and everyone that's, hundreds of men's organizations have been born off of the Wake Up Warrior. And I'm so happy for all of them. And for the men that are getting help. Because I was alone. I had no one to go to, dude. No one. You go to the church, all you got was judgment of the church. And the worst part is with any other guy, there was just a lot of fear. Because if I expose my truth to you, now you're faced with a dilemma. It's a dilemma.
Do you think there could be too much truth?
I don't think there's too much truth. I think there's people's inability to deal with truth.
Well, I mean, I agree with all that, and I get the whole wake up truth thing, but like I think you can go too fucking far.
Well, yeah, there's relevancy for sure.
You shouldn't be telling everybody everything.
Depends what you do.
Well, I mean, it's just, what have we done?
Yeah.
What have we done?
I get it.
You can't just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, man, I did this, that, and the other thing. Because a lot of people are judging you.
Oh, 100% are judging you.
But I do believe you got to be truth to yourself.
There's a level of listen, if you looked at a level of truth, if you'll be honest with yourself, you can be honest with your wife about everything. Like
so let's use that as an example.
Okay.
So guys are supposed to go tell their wives, hey, I think about fucking other girls quite frequently.
Yeah. You know why? Because most women don't recognize how deeply sexual their husbands are. And so they live in this false reality like my wife did.
Yeah, but what happens if your wife says, fuck you? I think about dudes too.
Yeah, and now you get to process that.
Yeah, but next thing you know, there's a divorce.
Well, yeah, if the divorce
because of the truth.
If the divorce came off the truth, listen, if I go to my wife and I say, you know what, taking this testosterone, I've noticed a lot more asses in the airport, which is true, I do.
Yeah, but you and your girl probably have a better relationship than most.
Well, how did we get there?
Like I get to say things to my wife that most wives would probably get pissed about.
Yeah.
Because she knows me and she knows I'm joking.
Yeah, well, there's joking, there's also truth, right? So if you can meet, imagine, this is what I wanted. I wanted a marriage where my wife could say whatever she was thinking. She could be whatever she was thinking. She could cross-check me. She could say what she wanted. Most men tell me, I want a powerful woman. I was like, no, you don't. You want a nice pair of tits and a vagina that'll fuck you on demand, and then you want a woman that'll take care of your children. That's usually two people, by the way. So why don't you be honest? You can't handle a powerful woman. And so you got all these powerful women rising, but they're all fucked up too because these powerful women rising try to act like dudes. So they don't act feminine. And no powerful guy wants to be in a relationship where he has to come home and battle his own testosterone. He's like, bitch, you better back down. And me and my Danielle went through that, me and my wife. She would come back from her business all like alphaed up and come in the house and try to alpha me. I'm like, okay, listen, bitch, we're going to get this straight right now. Okay? You are never going to approach me like this in this house. And she's like, yeah, fuck you. And guess what? We went to war, bro. Listen, I played games in my marriage that most men will die before they have the courage to play it. Hence, they don't get a fuck at 40,000 feet on a private jet coming back from Mexico with a woman that had 4 of their children while she looks at the ceiling and is in ecstasy. So you keep jerking off in the toilet with your inability to tell the truth to your wife. I know what that feels like too.
Why in the toilet?
I don't know. It's just,
Was that your spot?
No, it was a spot for a season. I don't know why I did it in the toilet. It's clean. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you it worked because, I knew a lot of people that went through your course and they're like, dude, that shit's awesome. And then I said, well, what is it, dude? And they were like, he's got these 4 things, these core 4, he calls them. And I'm thinking to myself after I hear him, I'm like, no wonder his fucking shit works. Like those core four, anybody starts fucking doing those every morning, their shit's going to get better.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, fuck, man, I need my own one of these deals.
Yeah.
But I never got there. I never finished. I didn't have the follow through.
You had a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah, well.
And a lot of stuff, you're dropping bombs.
Yeah, well, again, at the end of the day, I ended up doing okay, and I think I'm still on my journey. However, you were the one that I think kicked off the rest of them, and you just kind of confirmed it. So all the other ones kind of came out of Wake Up Warrior.
I think I knew I had been called to do what I was doing. Like I knew it. People were like, how do you know you were called to do it? I was like, I know. And they're like, what if you're wrong? I was like, well, even if I'm wrong, I believe it. And so that doesn't matter. Whether I was called or not, or whether I think I was called or not by God to do this, I did it either way, and I felt the certainty in it.
Well, your conviction came through. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, and then nowadays, like I'm just open to it in an even bigger way, which I'm just excited that there's a deficit in men leading men in an honest, real place, right? Men like you and I being able to demonstrate marriage and raising children and building businesses and being fit and connected to purpose and to God and being able to build life that works, because there's not enough leadership who live from their results. There's a lot of people chirping from theory. A lot of people chirping about what you coulda, shoulda, woulda done. But I'm a guy, like I learned that like 10 years ago. I was like, I'm no longer going to lead from what I theorize. I'm not going to lead from what I think might work. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell you and show you what I've done. Here's what I've done. I'm going to lead you from what I live. Then I don't have to try to remember anything, because the facts of what I've lived are easy to remember. The bullshit, the stories, and the narratives, those are complicated.
So at what point did the money start rolling in where you're like, son of a bitch, dude, I got dough coming out my yin yang?
Well, and I've never actually had dough coming. I mean, you could call, sperm coming out of the shaft.
Yeah, but if you can buy a $20 million house, you're not doing too shabby.
No, not doing too shabby.
Which means you went from, destroyed, broken, lying to everybody to bam.
Yeah.
How many years later? Like 3 short years, or was it?
So we started, let's see. So my wife and I have 2 brands. We Wake Up Warrior, and then we have DKW Styling. So we're in the hair industry too. So I took the concepts of Warrior and we embedded them with my wife's hair extension method, Natural Beta Rose. And I helped her figure out her method, and her methodology was allowing, like my wife was making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, working 3 days a week, still being a full-time mom, still like getting to live her passion as a hairstylist. And I was like, if we could have women do this, it'd be incredible. So we did. So I have thousands of hairstylists that have learned this method, like single moms with 3 kids, crushing. So we had that brand. So we have games there, hair extension lines, wet products, dry products, physical products. So that game's a moneymaker on that side.
Huge moneymaker.
Big moneymaker. And then we have this other side, which is the purpose project of Life and Warrior, which kind of became supplements and software and education and content and events. All of this thing kind of collided in 2012 or 2018 at like the peak between both those brands blowing up. But I still wasn't the kind of leader at the time that could hold it all together. So we kind of regathered the troops again. I mean, we were making great money the whole time, which was interesting.
When did you become a millionaire?
Let's see. I mean, I'd already been it before, then lost it all. So probably like the second round on rebuild after this was probably about 2015, 2014.
So it's fucking not that long ago.
Well, no. And then the first time was like back in like 2007, 6. And then all that went away. Tried to save my companies. But now is the first time I would say at 46 where I'm established. Like you couldn't take, even if you took all my shit, I'll build it back in 12 months.
How about all the people that came through the program that are out there being successful with large companies?
Crushing.
How many of those are
Thousands.
there?
Thousands. Yeah, thousands of case studies.
Now, again, have you ever thought about taking that Wake Up VT type system back to them, but not just with your curriculum, but allowing them to adopt it as their own?
Well, we're taking the shift that's happening right now for Warrior that's significant is the fact the more we wake up men, the more what I call like the prophets are starting to rise, which is men that once they wake up, they recognize not only am I a businessman who's married, who have children, but I also feel called to liberate other men. Like you can't turn it off. And that's
a good word.
It's just, I feel called into it. And so yes, like the next stage of where we're at right now is I had to get to a place with my own ego that this wasn't about me. The Warrior wasn't about me. The Warrior's Way wasn't about me. This wasn't about how cool Garrett was. This wasn't about what I know. And I think a lot of that hit when I had it all. That was the mission of Warrior's Way, was having it all. And we had been teaching guys this. But when I bought that house, we had a house in the same neighborhood and then moved down 3 lots down. Bought the house on the corner. Then we owned both houses for a period of time. So we had a $10 million house and a $21 million house, like both on the same street. And I'm sitting on the deck of this house and I'm having a moment. Wife is hot, sex life's on fire, life's going good there. Kids are on fire. My son's back in my life. Like business is booming. We got cash in the banks. And I'm I'm depressed.
Damn.
Like I still don't feel free. I'm like, how could I have all this shit and still not feel free?
How?
Well, that was now insert stage left.
Testosterone.
I was not free because I was in low testosterone mode. Nah, man, that was a surprise uppercut left. That was when Jesus Christ came into my life.
Again, because he's been in.
But it wasn't ever in. I was just playing a game with a lot of people. I didn't really understand what the hell I was doing. So like even in all the games I was playing in religion, I never once had a real relationship. I had a relationship with this presence, but it was never something for me. And for 10 years in Warrior, I'd felt this voice was guiding me. That's what we talk about all the time, the voice. We had Christian guys, Jewish guys, Muslim guys at Warrior. And we had guys that didn't want anything to do it. But we noticed this thing when guys came to Warrior, a vast majority of the men would search out God. They would come to Warrior, learn the Warrior's Way, and search out God, to the point that I had guys that would come to Warrior, use the Warrior tools, wake up, find themselves on power, find God, and then think I was too wild. And then they would leave Warrior because God was, I was offending them in their new religious faith. I was like, wait a second, you came to me asleep, and now I'm too much for you, even though you woke up here and you went and found God. I was like, I don't understand that, but okay. So like,
because they let some other people influence them.
For sure.
They listen. That's exactly what happened. Like you woke them up, and then they started listening to pastors and other people and coming up with their own opinions.
It's rough, man. I mean, that whole, I still don't even know how I feel about all that. So when people say like, where are you at? Like right now, what is your actual stand? I was like, it's pretty simple. 3 things: it'll wake you up, help you be free, guide you to be free, and then invite you to take a knee.
Invite you to take a knee.
Take a knee. Which was my problem. That's why I wasn't free.
Are there any people that are like, nah, I'm good? Yeah,
that was me. I was a poster child for fuck. No, I'm not taking a knee. That's why the weight of what I was building in Warrior got so heavy. It's why I became a psychopath. I started suing Sean Whalen. I sued everybody. I sued churches and pastors.
What for?
For taking our content. Legit, dude. I had an entire legal team. I was like, fuck that church. We're suing that fucker. Listen to my podcast. Start using Warrior principles at your church to help your men. Bet your ass you're not. And fucking pay us.
Did you win any of those?
Not really.
That's hilarious. Well, also what I have to do is change some shit.
I know.
Like yours are the core 4. Someone could have the quick pick.
Well, it started happening. It was stupid, dude. That's why I say 2018 was a big shift for us. And like God was trying to get my attention in a big way. He's like, hey. You're doing exactly what I need you to do, but you cut your head's up your ass a little bit. We need you to tell your head out. And I still know for sure my head's up my ass still at certain level in certain things for sure. I'll figure that out, I'm sure, next year. But right now I'm really, really clear. Like part of what Warrior's mission is not just about guiding men. It's about waking up the prophets. It's about waking up men, feel called to lead men movements and be able to plug them into what we do here.
See, you ever heard the saying, it's not our job to wake up the sheep. It's our job to wake up the other lions.
It's exactly, and yet that's exact way, like a different way of language and exactly what I feel called to do now. It's like, and I told Sean this, like Sean speaking of Warrior Comp 4, I just spoke at his Lions Den Live, which is great for us. It was a big healing thing for us because the issues were all on me. They weren't on Sean. They were just my issues. And
well, I mean, it must feel, I know how you feel though, but yeah, like you started it and then fucking this cocksucker's going to come along and tweak a few things and start being successful with it. But once you reflect, you're right. It's like, dude, you should be happy for him.
Well, and I wasn't happy in the beginning. Now I'm super happy. Like I'm really happy now for people. Like people will send me pictures. Oh, look at this fucker in Norway doing this, and this guy stole all your shit in Russia, and he's copying. I'm like, good. I don't know Russian. I'm not going to Russia.
Not only that, it's just helping more men.
It's helping way more men.
Well, why not? Why not kids?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've had that question come up
quite
quite
kids
a bit.
Become men, so why not get them early?
Well, this has been my son's 23. And him and
earlier than that.
Yeah, but that's the question they came to us about, and they said that because my son started really getting involved in Warrior. He was the youngest graduate of our Warrior programs. He came with the men through Warrior Week, went through it, took the gauntlet. He and I sat on stage with his mother and myself, and my wife. So my ex, my wife, my mom, and my son, and my trainers processed the fuck out of me in front of my own students. It was emotional. Like
process. What do you mean?
I got train wrecked, dude. Like ripped to pieces on stage. My son got to speak his truth. My ex got to speak her truth, all in front of our students at a massive event. And it was
there tears?
Pure massive. Everyone in the whole fucking room was inside in tears, dude. It was intense. It was heavy as fuck.
That's how you create cult-like followings.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
The truth, and also vulnerability in it. So, but like that piece he asked me, he's like, well, how do you go back and help us not? The guy, all the single young guys and warriors started getting nervous. They're like, Coach, I don't even want to get married. Like I'm listening to the backside of this fucking chaos that you guys are talking about. Like it's not exactly motivating me to get married and have a family. Like I'm hearing all this, and they'd be in our rooms with 500 guys, 1,000 dudes, or in our elite rooms with 25 to 50 guys talking about this truth. And they'd sit in the back and they're like, what the fuck? These guys are like going through a lot of shit. I'm like, yeah, none of us were fucking led for shit from our fathers. What if you couldn't find the truth? In other words, like there's guys out there, I was one of them for a while, so I know that they exist, where you don't really know. In other words, you know, but you don't know. So you kind of just waffle.
Yeah, know and don't know what.
Just, what you're like, in other words, what do you want?
Yeah. Oh, it's a big issue. Like, I don't think you can know what you want until you tell the truth.
But like,
tough.
I said I was never going to get married again. Here I am married again. Now someone would be say like, well, does it sound like he doesn't want to be married? No, I like being fucking married. But, to me, when I said I'll never get married again, was that a lie?
I don't think it's not the time.
Did she close me?
Yeah,
did I get?
She for sure closed you, bro. She motorboated you straight to marriage, man. You got motorboated to marriage. Nice.
Yeah, but like that helped me, not her.
So here's the deal. Here's what we changed it. We changed the statement from the truth will set you free to the facts will set you free. Because the truth is hard. Because when you start talking about truth, it's like constantly moving, right? So for example, I'm never fucking getting married again, right? That was true for you at the time. Those were your facts. That was the truth for you. Here's where I'm at. Where I'm at right now, the world I see, I'm never doing this. You go back to 2018, I'm suing pastors. I'm suing churches. I'm suing Sean Whalen. I think he's the biggest fucking cocksucker in the world. Now he's like my buddy, my brother. We text back and forth every day. He's my friend. He speaks at my events. I speak at his. We're going through a forgiveness process on his stage. Well, I had truth back then and I have truth today.
But isn't that 10 times better?
Way better.
Fuck yeah.
But that piece of like being in the fact game, I think is, that's part of it. I think guys have a hard time accepting the idea. That's why like people getting crucified as comedians for shit they said 15 years ago. It's hard. Like everybody's like, and I was listening to Ricky Gervais talk about this too. And he's like, the challenge everybody has with this cancel culture game is going on. It's the fact that every single one of you are saying shit right now that 10 years from now, they're going to fucking crucify you for. If we keep going down this path of nobody gets to live their truth and nobody gets to live their truth as it is today, and there's no forgiveness to become something more, then I'd always be a cheater.
So how would, if someone's listening going, man, that's me, give them like some quick tips on how to start getting straightened out.
First step we found across the board with everyone is just being able to have a radical assessment of the facts right now. Like here are the facts about what my fruit is. Like here when I look at body being balanced in business, one of the first processes.
Body being balanced in business.
Yeah, we start in the 4 domains of life, all sparked off this idea that God in the book of Genesis gave us all dominion. That was the one thing he gave man. All creation also, interestingly enough, in the second book of Genesis, or first chapter, second verse of Genesis, all creation started in darkness. So amidst all these pastors preaching about light, the truth is, according to the Bible, the second verse of the Bible, Genesis verse 2, everything was started in darkness.
Yeah, because on the 6th day, he said, let there be light.
Yeah, well, down the path we came through, the third verse, he said, let there be light. And there was but dark, but see, guys don't see that. So we think that we can't start in the darkness. That's exactly where God started all creation. Then you come to dominion at the end of the 6th day with Adam and Eve. God's like, I give you dominion and I give you instructions, which is dominion is domination of oneself and one's domains. In our world of warrior, we've determined those domains are body, being, your spiritual relationship with God, balance, your relationship with your wife and your children, and business, your relationship with money. So first assessment is just being really fucking honest. Here's where I'm at. We have specific tools and processes we go through with questions and sequence that let guys get radically honest, just like the very first experiences when we didn't have any of those tools back 10 years ago. It was just guys telling the truth. And there's a freedom that comes with that. Just knowing, okay, here are the facts about my fruit. Here are the facts about how I feel about that. Here are the facts about what my focus has been that led me to this place. It's just like you sit down with a guy like hasn't been making the kind of money he wants to make in less than 5 minutes. You can pick apart exactly what the fuck's wrong.
Why? Yeah, just through talking to him.
Yeah.
In those key areas.
Yeah. Well, just even like if you and I went into a business conversation with somebody struggling, in less than 5 minutes, you can find out exactly 2-3 of the biggest issues why they're not getting paid.
So I go down to the 3 things in life. Okay. There's health, money, and relationships.
There you go.
What else is there?
Well, there's being, spirituality, which
that's
is around
relationship.
All of it.
It's a fucking relationship.
Yeah, your relationship with money, relationship with your dog, relationship with your wife.
Relationship with God, relationship with yourself.
But being is like the energy that envelops everything. So yeah, you can put in relationships. It's a relationship with the essence of life. It's what's in and around everything. It's what brings about intimacy.
Well, and you know what's crazy is most people want more money. And I say money's derived from relationships. If you think about all the money you ever get, it came from a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you want more of that, wouldn't it make sense to get more relationships?
Yeah.
And how easy is it to get relationships, especially with social media?
Very easy now.
You know, but if you're introducing yourself and you don't even know yourself, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So like, how would you say people need to go get to know themselves?
Well, you got to put themselves in events and experiences and process to allow them to have that experience. But nonetheless, no matter what the experience is, it's all coming back to the same thing.
So you get a lot of dudes that cry at your deal?
100% of them do.
Are any of them over there snickering because some dude's crying? Like pussy.
Nah.
Pussy's crying.
That's just all the black belt jiu-jitsu guys online who want to tell me that I'm not a warrior and they'll choke me out for $10,000.
That's all. That's all.
Nah, those fucking pussies never show up to warrior.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Dude, I don't give a fuck about it. I have huge respect for Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, dude. That dude's freaking out there doing it.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says he ain't a boxer, he's a YouTuber. Bullshit, dude. He's paying to get coached.
Yeah, well, dude, the crazy part, I was having that conversation with a couple other guys. I was like, listen, the kid he has figured out the game today. Like at the highest, I looked at him and I say, you're talking shit about him. Could you get a Showtime contract right now there, champion? Last time I checked, you're rolling at the jiu-jitsu studio 5 days a week, ain't exactly getting you paid.
Nope.
This fucking kid over here not only got a Showtime contract, fills up stadiums. Oh, he had to give away a few of the tickets. Fucker, you couldn't give away 200 tickets to show up and watch you grapple.
Yeah, try to give away 5,000 tickets. That's pretty hard too.
Difficult as hell to just give away tickets and have people show up.
What's the biggest event you had with live people?
Right around 2,000 people. Yeah.
And that's a lot of people.
It was a lot, yeah. We were running a lot. Most of our events were between 500 to 1,000 people.
Were they all wearing suits and all similar?
All black gear. Yeah, we wore our warrior stuff. We put everybody in uniform at warrior events.
And someone told me you had to fight back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, everybody had to fight. I had to fight them. They had to fight me, and we'd all fight.
Like literally punch?
Dude, it was old man boxing games, bro.
But it was still punching.
Yeah, it was punching. We had to actually stop the boxing after about 6 years because we were getting too many injuries. These aren't Jake Paul 22-year-old, 25-year-olds fighting. These are all like 45 to 55-year-old dudes, rotator cuff issues,
busting nose.
Yeah. I mean, we were doing like 3-minute little mini rounds. The first time there was a serious blow delivered, I'd fucking jump in and we'd stop it.
But
it was intense. For most guys, they've never punched another dude in the face.
That's what I'm saying. So it was designed to get people to fucking quit being a pussy or gain some confidence in some way.
Well, it was all about getting them into the truth.
And what was the truth? What if the truth is they don't want to fight?
What truth is they didn't want to do a lot of shit. That's why they came.
I know, but like, I keep going back to the word truth because what is the truth?
Yeah, the truth are the facts as they are today.
Just the facts that
they are today.
So if someone said, Garrett, my truth is I don't want to punch people in the face.
Well, fantastic.
Or get punched in the face.
Yeah, that's great. Then say, get the fuck out of Warrior Week.
Why can't I participate in the rest of this nonsense?
We do. We say, listen, you can go to a thumb war and go walk on some fire over at another Happy Clappy event. We got some thumb war events you could go to.
Hey, but
I heard you could go to a Byron Katie event and get your shoulders rubbed and by a bunch of nice essential oil women.
You get your shoulders rubbed at Tony Robbins events.
Yeah. I'm nothing wrong with those. It's just Warrior was different. Men bond through aggression and collision, whether it's spiritual, emotional, or physical. So like you have that bond, whatever it was. And these guys were tight, man. Our dudes, we get 15, 20, 30 guys come through per event. We're doing every 2 weeks. We did this 5-6 years straight. And there was a big bonding, but we had too many injuries, so we backed away from it, went a little bit different angle. Then we did puggle stick fighting. We had the military come and train us on puggle stick fighting, which was kind of fun. But then we found out guys would fuck each other, but those even worse. So then we went away from puggle stick fighting. And then we did jujitsu and grappling for a while. But dude, older dudes just get injured, man. So like we had to kind of back off that quite a bit.
What'd you replace it with?
A lot of physical evolutions, but even a lot of that's like disappeared too, man. Like
I'd introduce nut kicking.
With just like those kung fu guys that slam their balls with the big log.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, dude, you got some balls if you're gonna let someone kick them.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you kick me in the balls, bro.
But you'll go fight somebody.
Yeah, I'll fight somebody, but I don't want to kick me in the balls. I mean, that's just a deliberate fucking grounding game right there. You're done. At least I got a shot if we're fighting. If I'm just standing there and you kick me in the nuts, I'm going down, dude.
When people were done fighting, did they? Because I think the fight sometimes would change people, don't you?
100% it did.
It's like the Fight Club.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about it though? Over 6 years of running it like that, it was never any dude who talked about how much he fought was always not that good. And all the dudes you figured would fuck people up typically couldn't. The guys that would fuck everybody up were the dudes almost 100% of the time who had no fighting experience. They were terrified.
Because of their fear, yeah.
They were fucking terrified, dude. You get like attorney, a doctor, you get some dude who had never hit anyone in his life. He's fucking terrified. And then, dude, all of the rage from sexual frustration with his wife, all the fucking oppression in his world, all the pressure, he just unleashed all that shit on the guy in front of him. So we deliberately set up matches between guys that we knew, bigger dudes against smaller dudes who had a lot of rage to get out. And it was fucking beautiful, dude. Guys were bleeding everywhere, hugging it up. It was huge. By the time we were done, I mean, everybody left with black eyes and broken nose. It was amazing, but it did have its season. Our guys were getting too old. We were like, we can't keep fucking sending dudes back all banged up like this. So we stopped doing it.
But do you think it was instrumental in the legend of?
Oh, for sure, dude. It was the legend. That's what everybody started copying too. Everybody started copying the part they could see, which was only 15% of what we did. Most of Warrior has nothing to do with physical evolution.
Other men's groups you had to punt, you had to fight?
Well, everybody started copying it. Started copying what we were doing. They started copying their style, which was fine. I get it because that's what we saw in the marketing. It was the allure, right? So people thought the magic was physical beatdown. It's not. That was a small piece. We figured out now you don't need it. Yeah, legitimately, you don't need it.
You need to figure out how to get them confident.
Yeah. Well, when you figure out how to get them to the facts. If I can get you to the facts, your confidence will come back. Because if I can get you to own the truth. For example, if I can get you to own the truth. Like we had a guy just a few days ago. We have a tool called stacking, which is daily walk and talk of dealing with your truth, your facts as they are today, but being able to have a relationship with whatever range of emotions, feelings, or ideas you're dealing with, and how to get those in a productive way to produce results. So that was the entire genre of stacking. So we had a guy who had his iPad, which had his app on it with Warrior, and he had left his app open. His wife came in and read a bunch of his stacks, which a lot of these stacks are rage releases for guys. Their frustration or anger, and so it's a place to give themselves permission to say all the shit they've been thinking, but they've never been able to say. Every man at some level thinks his wife's a bitch. A fucking bitch. Every guy has this thought. The only dudes guys fucking lie about this. But our experiences is 100% without question. There are moments your wife's a total bitch, and you're thinking in your mind, you fucking bitch, dude. Like this is what you're thinking in your mind. So instead, over time, guys just keep suppressing all this shit. You're fucking angry. You're pissed. The kids are stressed out. You're not getting laid. You're arguing with your wife, and in business and pressure and taxes and bills and payroll, and it just builds and builds. So stacking became this place to release, which was far more efficient than just having you fight somebody. And she came in and read them. And it's all about her. You fucking bitch, da-da-da-da-da, all in the stack. Now, it ends positive because the whole part of it is about reframing your reality and giving you a new narrative to be able to live life. But amidst all of this, she reads this, and then he is like, what the fuck do? I say, guys, just giving you an opportunity. You now get a chance to restart your marriage from a foundation of factual truth. And that's the problem. Most men are married to women who only tell them part of the truth. And men only tell their wives part of the truth. And inside of that place, then we call ourselves connected.
Now, out of all those relationships that if they did what you're talking about, how many of them do you think would dissipate?
40%.
Just 40?
Yeah, because you need people. Wait, two people have to dance. So the problem is, if I come in with truth, I'm exposing my partner, and my partner now has to make a decision. They're either going to counter back and volley the ball back across the net with truth, and then we're going to work on that together, and then understanding that our truths are going to change. You're going to get older. What you want's going to change. What your wife wants is going to change. So there's a constant reconnection and recalibration that has to happen, and it's tough. That's why it's easier just to not say anything. And that's why most guys, if you're getting blown or you're getting laid a couple times a week, like they won't say nothing. They'll just be like, I'm getting fucked up, man.
Yeah.
They'll be
I would just think some of that truth would just cause major issues.
It does. It does.
If you went home and said, okay, honey, I cheated on you 6 times already.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little too much truth.
Well, there's timing with it too, right? So there's relevancy and timing, right? So if I'm a guy that's never poured into my marriage and I've been cheating, and they said, Coach, what should I do? I say, you need to live your truth with you. We need to find out why you've been doing this.
Yeah, but can we leave the past and start today, move forward? And I haven't cheated moving forward, so I don't have to admit shit.
Well, it won't be if you have to do anything. It's like I'll tell guys come in, well, do I have to tell my wife? I say, you don't tell your wife anything. I say, you got to come to terms with the truth inside of you. Here's what I will tell you though. If you come to terms with the truth inside of you, being here in this program, that truth itself will set you free for you. But there will come a time as you start pouring back into this woman where you'll be laying on a beach in Mexico with your spouse, and you will recognize that the foundation upon which you have built this marriage now that it's working so fucking great because you pour into her now in a way you never have poured into her before, and you've been doing it for years, there will be a piece in the back of your mind as she looks at you with the purity of thought, and you will realize, I'm a motherfucker. And it won't be if you have to tell the truth. You will be compelled to tell the truth.
See, this is the good shit here. Dude, we could be on this thing for hours, but then we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, we should probably meet about some business.
Visit.
Yeah.
If you're ever back in Vegas, you promise to come back.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
Bro, this studio is incredible, man.
We'll do an episode too, though, because I had tons of more questions for you.
Well, dude,
and I'm sure people would listen to this for like fucking Rogan length.
This is fantastic.
Like Rogan's got 3-hour deal. Did I see you and Yaki doing a podcast now?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Married Game.
So you're just partners now?
We're just hanging out on the podcast talking about sex and marriage.
Yeah, but I could just imagine that's going to be a fucking great podcast.
It's going to be good. Keith's funny.
Keith is funny. He well, you remember, I was going to say he dared me once to do a stand-up comedy and I went and did it.
Yeah. You're good, bro.
Well,
I did it once. We both did it once. We're done. We retired at the top, Khabib style.
Yeah, I think with a little practice, I could end up being somebody in the comedian game. But I don't. But what
are
am
you
I
even
going to
commit to doing that, dude?
No.
There
has to be an end result for me.
Yeah, I don't see any end result with comedy.
Dude, my end result, like if you were coaching me and we were sitting at a table saying, you say, what do I want, dude? I honestly think, because this is my problem. Okay. I don't really know what I want. I don't. I gotta fucking figure it out. Because like I think to myself, you know what, 55, because I'm 53. 55, man, I think I'm done. Let me just sell everything I got, invest that money wisely, and I'm done. Yeah. Like good.
Yeah.
And then what?
Exactly.
So I think like that for a minute, and then I'm like, dude, I don't fucking want to do that. I want to end up being some super celebrity guy that's freaking like Tony Robbins. And then I'm like, nah, I don't really want to do that. You know what I should do? I should go be an actor like I always said I was going to be.
You want to be an actor?
Well, when I was a little kid, I was going to be a movie star and almost became one a couple times. And I think one of these days I will go fund a movie and give it a shot. Because like you come out in a movie that's in real theaters, real movie, either you're liked or you're not. Either you're laughed at or you're accepted. Yeah. So you can buy your way into Hollywood. You just have to pay for the fucking movie.
Can you memorize scripts well?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, dude. You got comedy. All this is memorizing scripts.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think, well, maybe I'll just go finish a movie star, by producing my own movies, or at least in the movie business. Yeah. Because I like good movies. And I think, no, I don't want to fucking do that.
That's a lot of work, dude.
Or my wife says, you won't be doing any sex scenes. And I'll be like, oh, fuck.
That would be an interesting position to be in, having a sex scene with a beautiful woman while being married to your wife.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
A jealous wife.
That'd be rough. I don't think that would work out. Yeah.
My wife has paid your wife, not directly, money.
She got her hair done at the NBR game?
She gets her hair done all the time, and it has to be that fucking
natural beta row extensions,
bullshit,
bro. Yeah,
and it's expensive.
It's pure fucking cocaine, bro.
It's expensive, and the lady who does it, said something, and then I found out, and I connected you two, and I'm like, fuck, see, look, he did it with Wake Up, now he's doing it with that hair fucking deal.
Yeah, the hair deal is actually simpler than the Warrior deal, because women care about that. Dude, it's a. If we had to have hair, we'd be the first ones lined up for it.
You know what you should do next?
What?
Or also,
what?
Charge people like Sean, because Sean didn't pay you to do it. He developed his own from your inspiration, I would imagine. Yeah. But charge people that want to go build their own. That's
what we're doing now.
Their own shit.
That's why we're here talking to you, crazy man.
Yeah, but will you? Like if I said, Garrett, I've decided I want to do my own shit. I got my 3. You got 4. I got 3. Yeah. Health, money, and relationships. Yeah. And what's funny about that, by the way, your health, the healthier you are, the better you look, the better you feel, the better you do, you get more money. Yep. You get more money, you get more relationships. Where does money come from? Relationships. So if you leverage relationships, you get more money. Invest that money in your health, all kinds of things, body, mind, soul. You get more money, get more money, get more relationships, get more relationships, get more money. It's like this fucking cycle.
Well, that's the round I'm in heading into next year. I've already started. I got the first 3 on board. I mean, I'm buying brands now, which means individuals who already have massive exposure, who want to lead in this space. I'm just cutting down 8 years off their learning curve.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm partnering with us on the backside, and then we just position them as the face. We give them infrastructure software, and then I help them get the frameworks locked down. We're doing it right now as a test with 3 guys.
Do you help
couple big reality television people like doing some big shit, and they want to make a big difference. They got millions and millions of followers, and they're like, come to the house, we map it out. I'm like, well, here we are. Let's see where we're at. So we're testing. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm feeling confident about it because I have the same thoughts. If I could have helped, like, it's like all the new generation of dudes coming in now who get touched by Warrior and like, man, I feel called to do this. I'm like, cool, here's the deal. I don't have to have control. I was like, but I'm not really interested in being your consultant. What I'm interested in being is a partner with you. So if you're interested in building it, I can just help you get there faster. And you're still the face. You're the dude. I'm not the dude. You'd be the dude. You'd be the voice. You're the prophet. You're the one called. You're the one doing it. Because people listen. People listen to you different. They listen to me. We can both get on stage and say the same shit. People listen to both of us differently. Facts. And there's some people think we're both assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too many people like that. Like, fuck those guys anyways.
I don't think so. I get a lot less hate than I would have imagined.
Yeah, you're nice. Everybody. I mean, you're an asshole, but you're nice.
What do you mean?
You're nice though. Like you're not blatantly trying to tell everyone to eat a bag of dicks.
I'll tell you what though. The other day, this dude was on the podcast, and I said wrestling. I don't really like it because it's fake. And apparently, I didn't even know this dude loved it. But now I'm getting like death threats from wrestling fans.
No,
I swear to you.
From pro wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Death threats.
Oh yeah, like you're a fucking idiot. And I go, let me guess, a wrestling fan. They're like, technically, yeah, but fuck you. And I'm like, Jesus, I didn't know they had that many freaking fans.
There's a lot of fans in that world, bro. Shit. I don't know anything about it.
But other than that, I get, pretty good comments. I think Facebook is worse than any of them as far as hate goes. What do you think? Facebook does have, it has a lot of heat. It's different heat than Instagram. I think it's because it's like it slowly goes downhill to TikTok. It's just very difficult because the attention span just gets lower and lower. So over on Facebook, people just seem to camp out a lot more. Well, maybe I should take that as a sign because TikTok, I got the most followers.
Yeah, well, go over there. I just want to see your dancing moves, skinny, lean man.
I don't do the dancing moves.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't even do TikTok.
They're little sound bites of me. Like this will end up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Somehow.
You TikTok it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't do it. Dude, here's what I do.
Do you even have TikTok on your cell phone open? Do you even have the app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, when I try to explain to people, especially my clients, because I want them to do well, I try to explain to people how I built my brand, which I don't know if it's a brand, but it's recognition. Let's say. Yeah. All I did was put out 3 to 4 videos every single day for 4 years.
That's a lot of videos, bro.
Yeah, but the key is I didn't. At some point, I stopped trying to figure out the content to put and just started to be the content. Yeah. So I just said, film the camera. It was funny because the guy came in, he's like, we got to make content. And I was doing something. And I run real businesses. I'm not a social media influencer. Yeah. So finally I looked over to him and I said, dude, just turn on the fucking camera. Okay. I am the content. Mm-hmm. And I went back to my phone call and talked to an employee and then someone walked in, and at the end of that day, they chopped it up and started dropping it, dude. And that's when the freaking...
Well, it's because it's real, dude.
Because it was real.
That was real.
And then people were like, dude, you see, you're so real on TV. Or yeah, they call this TV, by the way.
Yeah.
You're so real on TV. You know, how do you do that? And I'm like, dude, I don't think they get it. Like, that is me being me.
Yeah.
Like this is content.
Yeah.
So now I don't have to make it. Why? Because I am it.
Yeah.
And if you think like that, all you got to do is go put yourself in better situations, almost like reality TV. They script that bullshit.
It's really scripted.
Yeah. So like, let's say someone says, well, dude, what would I say? What would I do? I don't get to hang around Garrett and all these people. Dude, so what you do is you get a camera, dude, and then you put yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
And you film it. Or
they just start even using their own cell phone.
I guarantee anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But how big is your company got because of the brand? Because of your personal brand, your videos, your social media.
Dude, it's the anchor. It's the personal brand of it. I mean, the crazy part is I'm not even that big on social media. We've just been running traffic and ads and doing what we do for a very long time. Like Sean and guys that got even like stuff you've been doing. I haven't even gone that far. You know, I'm bipolar with social media. I'll delete all my apps for 6 months and I'll come back. It doesn't mean we're not participating on the platform. It just means my teams are marketing and running traffic, running ads directly to a specific piece of content and building lists and then redirecting traffic off it. Because I get too sucked in. I mean, I still want to fight people, get angry, debate. I just didn't have enough like growth in me to be able to deal with it. Now it's not so bad. I can do it. But it's that piece, that personal brand piece is what gives me access to be able to build any of the other companies underneath it. And I don't think people even recognize that.
And I heard you like to surf.
I love surfing, bro.
You've been surfing since a kid, or?
No, man. I started surfing 5 years ago when we moved into that neighborhood we're in now.
Are you good?
No.
Are you decent?
Yeah.
You're not worried about a shark?
No.
How come?
Because I've seen them now.
What do you mean?
I've seen sharks out there. Fun is correct. We were in Costa Rica with Keith, my surf coach, and a couple South African dudes. And these sharks started circling us. And it was the first time I'd ever been circled by sharks out at the break. And I was sitting there and I looked over at my surf coach, Coach Mo, called Mo Magic. He's like everything you'd imagine about a pro surfer from South Africa. That's him. And I look over him and I look at him and he looks at me and he's like, what? What, bro? I was like, are we all right? He's like, yeah, they're circling. We're good. I was like, and Keith is losing his shit.
Yaki?
Oh, yeah. He's losing his shit because he's a bodyboarder.
I would be paddling already.
I did they were circling us, bro. What are we gonna do? Paddle and try to beat them?
Yeah, paddle right past them.
Yeah, well, that's
not
working.
Eat. Don't let them.
No, you're the thummies. You're the first one. So I just kind of, I did paddle. I paddled right over by my coach like a little kid hugging onto his daddy's leg. Keith had his legs in the water because he's a sponger. So
what's that mean?
He's a bodyboarder. I'm a surfer. At least I'm sitting up a bit. Keith was at risk. He had the deepest legs. He's got that low piece of toast he likes to ride. His legs are way down in the water, all dangling, all like baity like.
Why wouldn't he put them up and sit on the board?
Well, you can't really. It's a piece of toast. He hasn't quite grown up. He just lays down, dude.
This must be surfer talk.
It is. It's surfer shit talk. It's like a cougar being best friends with a chicken.
Did you hear what I said at my comedy deal with him?
Yeah.
I said, fucking, you seen that dude that got kicked down the slide in the Christmas Story? I'm like, that's him all grown up, dude. I had 5 people come up after me and be like, fucking, dude, I didn't put that together.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah.
Like, they so literally funny. Believed that was him.
Q's great. Q's so fucking funny, dude. The funniest part of our last story with this, we wrap. We're out surfing one day and dolphins at the break were out, like at the point where we surf out the strand, like big dolphins. Like I didn't really understand how big dolphins are. I always see small dolphins, like the aquariums, like not small, but I don't realize dolphins are like, they're dolphins bigger than us, dude, yeah. Like big ones.
I had one knock the wind out of me once.
At like an aquarium or in the ocean?
No, you know how you pay to swim with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It knocked you out?
I'm like, I didn't want to fucking swim with them, but let's go swim with them. So sure, I jumped in, swim with them. I have a fucking life vest on, and one of them, they have them come over to you.
Yeah.
And one of them just fucking head barreled me.
No, he didn't.
Knocked
really?
the wind out of me, dude.
Oh,
I got the fuck out of there quick. It was like bullshit. And then one other time I was in Cancun. They're like, let's go under and snorkel and shit. And I'm like, no, dude, there's fucking fish in here that'll eat you. And they're like, because you're part of the food chain when you're in the ocean.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't like that shit. So the guy's telling me, and my wife's like, come on, babe. So literally I'm like, fine, fuck it. We're just in this, not too deep of water. So I put on the fucking snorkel and I go underneath, and everyone's got their little food that they're feeding the fish down there.
Yeah.
And so I fucking accidentally hit this wire that was under there that had barnacles on it, and it fucking puffed a bunch of barnacles. And all of a sudden I saw fucking silver flashes. And apparently they were eating whatever I accidentally bumped.
Oh, wow.
And one of the fucking barnacles went up against my shin. And I'm looking, by the way, I can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they were eating these things. Yeah. And one went up against my fucking shin. And this fucking fish went bam and took a chunk out of my leg.
Bit right out of your leg.
Yeah. And I went up and I said, I got bit. And the guy started laughing. He goes, dude, these fish don't bite. And I jumped out and I was bleeding. And he goes, God damn, you're the first person that's ever gotten bit by a fish.
You're that guy. You're that guy to come out surfing with us one time and get bitten by a shark. You'd be the guy though.
Fuck that. I wouldn't
be good though. Go for you, not me.
What about that surfer now?
Yeah. Well, which one?
The one-armed one.
Well, the girl? Yeah. Well, she still mashes, dude.
And by the way, there's several one-armed ones.
There's not as many one-armed ones as people like put out. There's not a lot. You know what's interesting? There's not a lot of people that die from it, though. It's not too many.
Well, not only that, that's because usually you lose an arm, you say, fuck it, I'm done. Yeah. I don't need to keep doing it. She's just brave enough to keep going. She's fucking
crazy, dude. She's amazing. She's like a hardcore surfer. She's big time.
But can you imagine, dude?
No. Do you know every day I surf, every day I have a moment where my brain goes, what if your arm got eaten up by a shark?
Or your leg.
Or my leg. I have
or your side, and now you're dead.
Do you know what's crazy? Keith and I have seen sharks twice surfing. One time I saw it was the only time I paddled back in. And Keith, I could look at Keith, we're out, and it was a heavier day, 7 to 8 feet.
Was he on his toast?
Yeah, well, he's always on his toast, bro. He kind of knows how to stand up. He's like in evolution. I'm fucking with him right now. He'll get to listen to this part of the show. He's the one bodyboarder we allow into the game. He gets way more barrels because
when you say bodyboard, you don't mean the kind that are half boards.
It's half board, bro.
No, shut up. He surfs, doesn't he?
Well, he can surf, but he's not good at it. But he's really good at bodyboarding. That was his thing growing up. Bodyboarding used to be a big jam. It still is. Kids still love it, and guys still love it.
Is that where you run and then dive on the board?
Well, it's like it's like a piece of toast. It's like a foamy piece of toast. You know, it's like the master of the toast.
But it's halfway.
Yeah, it's halfway, and you don't have to actually stand up. So
you don't stand up. You can't.
When you can, there's guys who are really good that can stand up and do crazy shit on, but those guys can also surf really good. Keith's actually a pretty good surfer. He's decent.
He just prefers the bodyboard.
It's easier. Keith's kind of sometimes in the easier path. So
it's like when you go skiing and someone likes to snowboard or vice versa.
Or ride a sled.
Or a toboggan.
Exactly. Hey, we're going skiing. Yeah, I got mine. That's a fucking sled, bro.
That's a toboggan.
Like I'm sitting in that toboggan. We were out there though, and Keith comes back but next to me and he's looking me in the face and he has this like his face like super white. It's like pasty white. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? He's like, dude, I saw a shark. I was like, come on. And I could tell he was super serious. And I was like, dude, be serious. Calm down right now. Are you serious? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we're fine, dude. Because the waves are really good. Because there's a world where we're surfing. If the waves are good, you don't worry about anything else. That's how I understand why dudes can surf in places that are heavily shark infested. Because like the waves like put you in a trance. You're not worried about what's underneath the water. You're just worried about because the water's more dangerous than sharks. Far more people drowned than would ever die from drown or get smashed into rocks.
Yeah.
Right. So hit rocks and get unconscious and drown, or just drown in the ocean. That happens all the time. People fucking fall off of paddleboards in the marina in Dana Point and drown every summer.
Wow.
And that's flat ass water because they can't swim and they're drinking. They don't wear a life jacket. Fall off the paddleboard, tourists, drown. So we were out there though, and Keith says, "Oh, I saw a shark," and I'm like, "Come on, dude, we're right. The waves are too good." I was like, "Come on, bro, you didn't see a shark. We're good." And he's like, "Nah." Dude, I swear I did. I was like, all right, fuck it. It doesn't matter. We're good. Let's go catch some more. So we start paddling back out to the break, out where this rock reef is. We're paddling back out, and I come up over. And like when waves are like building and you're duck diving, like, and then you're coming up and over bigger waves and duck diving. They weren't big, but they were like 6 to 8 feet, which is like big enough to where like the trough of the wave, you disappear. So you can't really see. You're diving and the waves are coming up down and set waves will come behind them. They're just like monsters. And we'd had a few like 10 plus set waves come through on some 3-4 wave sets. And I come up over, I duck dive and I come up from one of the waves and I see right in one of the troughs, dude, fully surfaced. Like backside of shark, fin, everything. And that was the first time I'd ever seen a shark that big in the water.
Just shit?
Oh, dude, I mean, there's not really anything you do but catch a fucking wave and come back in. So I turn back around and I tell Keith, I go, fuck, dude, I just saw it. He's like, I fucking told you, bro. And I was like, we need to fucking go now. So then there's an etiquette in surfing, which is whoever's inside or whoever's inside deep, closest to the peak of a wave has priority. So a wave came in and my training was kicked in. Keith had priority because he was inside. My brain just like, oh, he is inside. It's his wave. So the wave comes. We both should have caught it. So there I am. Keith fucking rides the wave in, but I let him take the wave because my brain's in surf mode, which is like, oh, he has inside his priority. So then I'm sitting in the trough of the shark. I don't see him. Obviously, I'm still here, bro. Both arms, both legs.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, you coming back here so we can do more interview later?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, then let's call this part 1. Garrett J. White. Folks, go follow this dude if you're not already following him at Garrett J. White. Wake Up Warrior. You can Google him. You can't miss him. Go to YouTube. Where do you hang? Instagram, YouTube?
Instagram. Yeah, I'm a lot on Instagram. Mostly just wakeupwarrior.com.
Go hit him up in the DM. Let him know the Bomb Squad's real. And until next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.